Hey, what's up, y'all? So it's like 4 in the morning and I'm at work doing overtime. I'm trying to heat up in the car while I'm on my break. But I had something to tell y'all. So, y'all know I posted, well, y'all might not know, but if you go on my page, I posted a video about how God is the God of suddenly because of a video I was watching on TikTok and the things that the girl was saying in the video, right? Okay, so let me tell y'all how I came into the new year, right? So for the past couple months, I would say the devil has been trying to be real busy in my life, to the point where somebody who had been in my life for years that I thought would never, you know what I'm saying, do me wrong, have no type of ill will towards me, we fell out, right? And it's crazy that we fell out because in the back of my mind for almost a year now, I've had my, I guess you say, suspicions about this individual, but it was just, I never really got confirmation on the situation. It was just little things that was happening, you know, throughout the months of the year that was like, you know, okay, because what's really up? Like, I'm starting to look at you differently, but, well, like, what's the real issue here? Never got no clear understanding until, boom, I prayed that prayer, y'all. Y'all know that removal prayer. I prayed that prayer. Not even 48 hours after that, me and that person fell out. We not on speaking terms, none of that, right? Okay. This is the same person who I was taking advice from about life, because y'all know my mom and my dad passed. Like I said, this is somebody who had been in my life. I was taking advice from them. This is somebody who my mom knew. My mom left around, you know what I'm saying? We were like this. So I could have had a house by now. I didn't get the house because of advice that person gave me, you know. You live and you learn, okay? So fast forward, like I said, me and this person fall out. So I ended up getting into a situation where my bank account was linked to an app that me and a person was supposed to be using, and that individual was still trying to take money out of the account, right? So yeah, I ended up having to go to the bank. I was putting it off for weeks because I was so busy. I disputed the charges. I got the money back, thank God. But I had to open a new account. That was my only option, right? Okay, boom. I get off work. December 31st. I get off work early at like 12. I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and take care of it while the bank is still open and I have time off. So I go to my regular branch, right? I go to my regular branch that's close to where I live. And I'm like, hey, I want to close an account, open a new one, blah, blah, blah. The man came out. He was like, originally he said, she just stepped away from him and she'll be right back. Okay, as 15 minutes go by me waiting, he comes back over and he's like, well, apparently she's on lunch and you will have to come back after 1 o'clock. I wasn't trying to come back after 1 o'clock because I still have stuff to do. So he was like, you can go to our other branch at this location. I'm like, okay, since it was close. I go to the other branch at that location, right? I get out the car, I go in, I'm like, hey, I'm trying to do blase blase. And the young lady that I spoke with, she was like, okay, you can just wait right here, she'll be with you in a second. I said, okay. Very great customer service at this location. Loved it. So I get to the lady table. I'm explaining the situation to her of what me and the person went through and why I need to close and open the account, because of course they asked you that. And she was like, oh no, man, we finna get this closed. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, thank you so much. So I needed to have like some type of documentation showing the address of that's listed on the account. So she was like, do you have this? Do you have this? I was like, no, because I wanted to go to this address instead of that address because of blah, blah, blah. And she's like, okay, what about your car registration? I was like, oh, you know what? That might work. So I come out to the car. I'm searching through the car for the registration. I'm flipping everything in this car up and down, trying to find the registration, right? As I'm doing that, there's a conversation being had inside the bank about who I am without me knowing, right? Not in a bad way or anything. Let me preface that. Not in a bad way or anything. But it just goes to show God hears those conversations that you don't hear in the rooms that you are not in, that you didn't even know you was getting ready to walk into. So I find the title to my car. I was like, you know, hey, can, you know, is this working? Can I use this? As I'm coming back in the door, a young lady says, hey, do you have a business? And I'm kind of caught off guard because I'm trying to handle something else. So I was like, yes, I do. She was like, what's the name? So I told her the name. I was like, it's Love Couture. She was like, I thought that was you. You came to my church. And I'm like, what church you go to? Because I done been to a couple churches around the city. And she had told me the church. And I was like, yeah, I have been there multiple times. I was a vendor there. I came and visited when you all was having y'all women conference. And she was like, yeah, I remember you. So she ends up telling the lady that's working with me about my business and about my product that she had bought when we first, got introduced to one another. And she was telling the lady how good it was and everything like that. Y'all, I didn't know none of this was going on while I was out here in the car searching for the registration, right? I end up finishing up my paperwork with the lady. She helped me out, got everything done the same day. She was like, we're going to send you a new card and everything in the mail within 7 to 10 business days. Okay, cool. I'm not stressing it because I got another account for my money to go into while this was being handled or whatever. I had already put other things in place. Okay, so I get finished up. The lady was like, do you have a car or anything? She was like, do you have some with you? I said, yes, I do have some with me. Not knowing, I just lied to this lady. And I'm not saying I lied like on purpose. It was just, it didn't click in my mind because the previous day I had went to Blakely to restock the new store location, and I used everything I had in the car to stock that location. Usually I do have some in the car with me. They always with me all the time, okay? Our products are always on hand, okay? But anyway, I said, yeah, I do. And then I went out to the car, y'all. I looked in the trunk. I didn't have none. I said, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I don't live far. I said, once we finish this up, I'm going to go home. I'm going to get y'all together. I'm going to be right back. Y'all made 2 sales all because of one person knowing me from months ago. All because I decided to not wait till 1 o'clock to go back to my same branch. I decided to be obedient and go ahead and get it taken care of. And 2 sales came out of that. While I was also in there, the young lady asked me, she was like, hey, are you coming to watch night? Y'all, watch night had not crossed my mind in so long, because if you've been, following my journey with Christ, I haven't had the strongest relationship with God. You know what I'm saying? I was angry at God for years. I've now come out of there trying to transition back into building a stronger relationship with God and getting closer to Him. So it never crossed my mind, like, go to watch night or whatever. I said, no, I don't think I'm going, right? Because I don't know why I was thinking, like, church would be, like, in the evening at, like, 5 or 6 or something. Because it was already, like, 3. I think, no, it was, like, 2 around that time. Anyway, I was like, no. And then I turned back around. I was like, you know what? What time is it? She said, it said 10. It started at 10. I said, okay. I went and talked to her. I said, you know what? We will be there. Because I was already obedient to come here, and God blessed me with 2 sales and a connection that had been made months ago. So I'm like, you know what? Why not? I'm listening, right? I'm listening. So I'm like, okay. I text my dude. I say, hey, we're going to church. Me, you, and the kids, we're going to church. We get ready. We're a whole hour late. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be late than not show up. Hear me? I'd rather be late than not show up. Plus, I'm a person on my word. So if I tell you I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. So I tell him, I get the kids ready. He get off work. He get ready. Boom. We leave. We get there. As soon as we get in the door and sit down, the pastor's getting ready to preach. And he said, before, did anybody want to come up and say nothing? Regardless of how many people I talk to, I'm still very shy. So I didn't get up and say nothing, but I really wanted to tell the testimony of how I got invited to church to even be able to be there tonight, because that was not my original intention. But because I was obedient and I listened to God about going and getting another situation taken care of that the devil was trying to, spew me in the wrong direction, I got blessed. So we get to church, and we going through the church service, and it was crazy because, like, just like I ain't been to church, my boyfriend ain't been to church either. We had went a couple times to different churches, but it just seemed like it wasn't working out, so we had to just stop. But anyway, we all came, and the kids, they was like, I like this church. They was telling me they like it. I was asking him, you know, can you see yourself going here? What you think? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you got blessed with 2 cells. You got invited to church. You went to church. You got your soul fed by the word that was preached. And then as you're coming out of the church, we heard like gunshots where we was at or whatever, right? And so kids like, is that fireworks? And it's crazy to me how like kids mind be, because it's like you think that's something fun and it's not. Those are not fireworks. So we get in the car and we talking, and they was like, are we gonna come back? When are we gonna go? They was like, we like Granddaddy Church, but we like this church too. That Granddaddy Church is like 30+ minutes away, but that church is close to where we're about to be going. And it's just like, if I wouldn't have listened, none of that would have happened. If I wouldn't have listened, it's like you have to be obedient, regardless of how strong your relationship is with God, regardless of how far you feel like you wandered away from God or disconnected from God. You can always come home.